Okay, so we're gonna do a basic setup of our vanity, basic shampoo, scientific brushing, draping, all of these things, okay? I'm gonna break them down so that we know for sure what is our draping and our scientific brushing, because those are on your state board exam, okay? First thing you're always going to do is sanitize your hands, okay? And use your disinfectant on every work surface. So everything your client's gonna touch, okay? We're going to spray it down. And most of you are gonna end up sharing a workspace with another person. You know, maybe your shift is 9 to 4. Somebody else is gonna come in 4 to 9. So you have no idea who's been in your chair or anywhere, you know, what they've touched or whether or not it was disinfected. So we're always gonna assume that it's not clean, okay? We're always gonna disinfect everything and spray everything down. Sanitize my hands again. All right, Tristan's gonna be my model. You ready? Okay, once I do that, I could go ahead and set up my vanity and make sure that I have all of my brushes, combs, clips, my drape, everything. If this is already nice and clean and sanitized and ready to go, then I don't want to put it on a dirty work surface, right? So once I've cleaned all of that, then I could set all my stuff up, okay? When we're gonna drape someone, depending on what we're going to do, we definitely want to use a towel and a drape. It's very rare that I don't use a towel. I usually will take the towel off when it's time to cut their hair, but I'm not going to shampoo without a towel. I'm not gonna do color without a towel. So I'm always, 99% of the time, I'm not gonna cut their hair if I don't shampoo it first. That's just me personally. Now, some people will just spray it down with a water bottle. I don't think that, you know, if that's what you're doing, then you should be paying about $15 for that haircut, okay? If you want to charge $35 or $45 for a haircut, then you better be shampooing, okay? So I'm always going to shampoo, always. I'm never, if they just want to spray down and a cut, then go to Supercuts for that, okay? For me, I'm going to charge you $45, but I'm going to shampoo it, I'm going to condition, and I'm going to blow dry everything, okay? So that makes a real difference in a professional salon, I guess, as opposed to these high volume places that they're just going to spray you down and cut it. Okay. All right. So draping. All right. So first thing I'm going to do then is greet my clients. Hi, Justin. How are you doing today? I'm great. Good. Now I always just cover their shoulders really good. Make sure their shirt is completely, you know, covered with the towel. I don't necessarily have to wrap them up like a mummy. I've seen people put straight jackets on their clients, and we're not going to do that. We are technically never going to use this drape on another person except for Tristan until I wash it. So I don't have to be quite so careful that it never touches her skin or anything like that, because I'm not going to use this again on somebody else, okay? I would highly recommend that your drapes have snaps and not Velcro. So when you go to buy them yourself, you want to make sure that you're buying snaps, okay? Velcro is the worst. It gets hair stuck in there. When you wash it and blow dry it, when you wash it and dry it, it gets like towel stuff stuck in there and it's nasty. And then you can't really, reuse it very often because you're trying to always pull stuff out of that Velcro. And your client's hair is going to get stuck in there as well, okay? All right, so I'm going to do scientific brushing now. Scientific brushing is, we're looking at several things, okay? I'm going to ask her how her day is going. I'm going to talk about her boyfriend. I'm going to say, hey, how was that party last weekend or whatever. But I'm also analyzing her scalp, I'm looking to see while I'm doing that, is there anything unusual going on in the scalp? So we have to actually open that hair up and look at her scalp. Not just here, but everywhere, okay? And we can do that without feeling like a bamboo, what do you call them, baboon, you know? Like we're like picking her apart, you know? But we do want to see. We want to see the scalp condition. We want to see if there's abrasions, cuts, sores, if she's having any kind of scalp condition, or if, maybe she's got lice, because she's been sleeping out somewhere that she shouldn't be. Who knows? But yeah, we're looking at all of those things because those are, I want to know, especially if I'm going to do a relaxer, if I'm going to do bleach, if I'm going to do any kind of high caustic chemical that might touch her scalp. Well, if she has an open wound there at all on her head, then I can have some real serious problems when I put color or bleach on that. So, you see anything and you can just say, oh my gosh, what do you have here? Did you hurt yourself? And she's going to say, oh yeah, I hit it on a corner of a cabinet or whatever. And then you can say, you know what, I don't think we should do color today because I want that to heal really well before I put, chemical on there. And I think we need to reschedule you for next week. Okay. All right, so I'm looking at the scalp condition. I'm also looking at the length of her hair. Okay, we call them 6 factors. Okay, the 6 factors are the scalp, the length of the hair, the texture of the hair, the density of the hair, how porous it is, which is just how dry or damaged it is, and then the elasticity of the hair. I'm also detangling it, stimulating the scalp. I want to just brush it all through and make sure that it's nice and detangled. Okay, so I'm looking at how long it is because I want to know how much are we cutting off today, or she wants to go all brunette again, no more blonde. So I'm looking at that to see, wow, I'm going to use a lot of color on her today. So this isn't going to be just like a little retouch. This might be more like $100 worth of hair color right here. Okay, where my color, might be 65, to color my hair. But hers, she's going to take at least twice as much color as I would, product-wise, to put on her hair, right? So these are things I'm looking at. Same thing, density is how much hair is on her head, right? She's got a lot more hair than I do. So she's still going to use, not based on length, just density. Look at how much product we're going to have to use. See, because this is like my head right here. So if it takes a whole tube of color for me, then it's going to take her 3 or 4 tubes of color. Okay? So your product alone is going to cost 4 times more, right? Or 3 times more. So scientific brushing, we're looking at all of these things. Okay? I want to brush the hair back. I want to see the scalp. Okay? So I'm separating that hair. And I'm looking at the scalp at the same time, detangling it. I don't see anything crazy. We're talking about our service and what we're going to do today. We're talking about the condition of her hair, what she's going through. 9 times out of 10, this is what they're going to tell you. I don't know why, but my hair's falling out, or it's breaking, or it's thinning, or something's not right with it. Or I loved my cut last time, or I hated it. What did we like? What did we dislike? This is when we're doing our little consultation of, everything. Okay? So, you definitely want to see the scalp from all angles, all sides. Again, we're moving around and we are analyzing that scalp and detangling at the same time. Okay? And like I said, this can be something very subtle. It doesn't have to be like, oh my God, what do you have going on in here? Okay? You see anything you don't want to handle or you can't handle, I think you need to see a physician. I think you need to go have a doctor look at this. I'm concerned that, I'm not sure why or how. You're not judgmental, but I think you may have lice. And I can't, it's really no big deal. It's over-the-counter medication. Go home, shampoo it, comb it really well, come back in a week and we'll cut it, okay? But better to do that now than when I've already cut half of her hair, right? And then I have to stop because then I see the lice, you know, which happens a lot. And it's because they're not doing the scientific brushing. They're not analyzing the scalp and the condition of the hair before, okay? And I guarantee you, if you are looking in here around the ears and in the nape area, that's where they're hiding. You'll easily be able to see that it's a little white dot on the hair that won't move, okay? And I can do that real subtly if I'm combing her hair and I pull it out and I see something, and I can just mess with it a little bit with my thumb. If it won't move, it's probably a lice egg, which is it literally like is stuck to the hair, and it's usually closer to the scalp, and you'll almost have to work at pulling it off, okay? So a lot of people have little white stuff in their hair, so don't worry about that. A lot of it's product buildup, but you know, you're easily going to be able to see yes or no, and if it'll just flake off, then it's no big deal. Okay. The other thing is, this is where we're talking about her hair condition. So when we talked about the 6 factors, it was length, density, her scalp condition. We talked about texture as well. She's got naturally wavy hair, but it can easily be blow dried straight, so we don't have to use anything for curly hair. We can just use our regular shampoo and conditioner, but she does have highlights. So it's porous, meaning this is very dry, okay? So not all of it, but some of it, especially on these ends. Maybe we want to do a treatment, okay? Maybe we want to ask her what products she's using. Okay, are you using well water? A lot of people use well water because they live out on farms or ranches or whatever, and that's going to drastically affect the hair. Sometimes they're on medication, which also affects the hair, or they're using products that are not the best, and so it builds up on the hair as well. So maybe we're going to do a chelating shampoo and remove all that buildup. All of these things, we're talking about what color we want to use, if we're going to tone it down, how, you know, what kind of reconstructors she might need, or moisturizing treatments. Okay. And then elasticity. So definitely, if it's breaking, it's extremely damaged and it's just breaking off, then we're going to talk about the best course of action. To me, I'm always for the integrity of the hair. So if I can avoid any more damage, then I will. I would rather she work with what she has than try to be platinum blonde and she ends up with this much hair, you know? So you have to be realistic. Maybe she doesn't care. Maybe she wants to be, you know, short, pixie, bleach blonde. That's fine. But you're realizing that, you know, you're going to lose all this hair, okay? So that is basically how we're going to drape, how we're going to sanitize, how we're going to do our 6 factors, our scientific brushing, okay? And then from here I can move forward with either her application of color, her highlights, or her shampoo, okay? All right.